Welcome to the Geeks 31 Days of Horror for Halloween. This is Lil.
And this is Steve.
And tonight, we discuss Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey from 2023. So for those of you who have not been with us before, we will play for you our rating system.
There's a rating system in place that we like to call 0 to 0. If whatever horror movie we're reviewing is terrifying only to the most infantile who get nightmares from PG-13 reboots, it gets a 0. If it's a gorgasm-inducing slaughter party that satiates your most devious and monstrous desires, it gets a hero.
Well, with the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh... No, I'm joking. I don't even have a British accent, so I can't do it.
Wow.
After Christopher Robin abandons Pooh and Piglet for college, they embark on a bloody rampage in the search of a new source of food. Yeah, that's what happened here. Like, they're eating people. They eat Eeyore. So it stars nobody I don't think we've ever seen. A lot of people in this movie, which I'm kind of shocked at this indie film getting so many people involved. But so this movie, only reason it happened is because Winnie the Pooh, like the original, that's why like you don't see Red Shirt or anything like that. That original story from I think 1926, actually became public domain. So they were able to turn it into a horror film. And
it was announced like the next day. It was like they had that shit loaded, locked and loaded.
Well, it's weird because they have other. It's not the same group that's doing it, but like we've seen other ones for properties that they're not public domain yet. So I don't know how they're getting around it. Like the Grinch has a horror movie.
I think that is public domain.
I don't believe it is yet. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know.
I think it is.
We'll see. But Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So, Steve, what did you think?
You know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, to be honest. There's a lot less nudity than there should have been, I guess. This is one of the complaints. Why? Because this is the kind of movie
there was.
But there wasn't.
There was
one. There's one. But this whole movie, I mean, they stacked the roster, and it was like, okay, this is what we're doing. It felt like an exploit kind of film because the story is nonsensical. And really, when you boil it down, like there's only about 45 minutes of actual content here. If you take out all the forever shots that like keep going and going and going for no reason, like which there are plenty of those.
Completely agree with that.
But some of the kills looked good. They looked all right. There's some cool practical effects. The CGI blood was no good. As far as the design of the characters, though, I don't know. I could never just kind of not think of them as just dudes in a mask.
Yeah, there was.
They didn't. I don't know what it was. Like maybe because it looked so plastic. They didn't have any hair at all. They didn't move or emote in any way. They were just. And I get it. They were dudes in a mask. Like that's what they had. The indie qualities of it shone through in a lot of areas, but I still respect the hustle and like they did some cool stuff. They tried, and I have some cool ideas moving forward. Because of the last thing they showed, I waited for the credits then, so I'm like, is there going to be an end credit scene? It just says Pooh will return, so we're definitely getting more of this.
Well, yeah, they did announce a sequel.
And it's probably going to look better. It's probably going to have way more money given to it. The costumes are going to look better. They're probably going to have it's just the higher budget, going to have better quality writing, story. They threw this thing together, and it hit. You know what I mean? It's a ridiculous movie. It is ridiculous when you have people screaming like "Pooh, stop!" and they're like covered in blood. It's so weird and random, but. It is not without its faults either, which it has plenty of. but I don't know. I'm right around like a sidekick on this. Like I didn't hate it. It wasn't like the worst thing, but it's not good.
No, I mean, for a lot of the scenes, like when they didn't shoot the faces, it felt like a slasher film. It felt like it could have been right out of the Friday the 13th franchise, right? Like they were in the woods, there was a house, there was a
the cinematography for the most part pretty good.
Yeah,
they had some really cool shots. They introduced the fact that Winnie the Pooh had superpowers in the fourth act, but hey,
Well, I mean, of course.
And I say the fourth act because it's at the very end of the fucking movie. What the fuck?
And a couple decent kill scenes. There was a couple, slow motion machete going into a mouth and car driving over a head.
There's a lot of skull trauma.
Yeah, so I'm with you at the sidekick level, for what it is, right? Like if this was like super high budget, it might be a little lower because of the ridiculousness. The mask, there was a few scenes there you could actually see the actor's face.
Yeah,
and I watched this bootleg the first time, and I couldn't tell because it was very bad. I mean, I laughed because it opened up with the
spoilers.
The drawings, like Pooh in the 100-acre woods and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. What are we doing here? And Christopher Robin was in the opening, and then they went back to animation, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I wonder if they're going to do that throughout. And they didn't, but they did tell you that Pooh and Piglet ate Eeyore, which is traumatic.
Well, they tell you that Pooh and Piglet ate Eeyore, but there was more than just Pooh and Piglet. It was Rabbit. Owl.
Kanga,
so like there's
Roo.
People or other characters at least there that have not been killed off or
right when we know Tigger's coming in the sequel.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's what the rumors
you know what?
were. Tigger's coming to the sequel.
We're going to talk about this. I might up it to high sidekick by the end of this because there are some things that I think are like really fun. Like there's a fun quality to this of like the different ridiculous things they could do, the different ways they could take this. But I do have questions about right there in the beginning. They say that they shun away from everything human. They're gonna take they've sworn off speaking. They're going back to their most animalistic ways. But then they look like full on fucking people.
Yeah,
clothes and boots and
because again they can't have they number one. I don't think they could dress. They can't do the naked Pooh Bear because I think that was done in the 60s. However, whatever. Like there's different to the.
I get what you're saying. Like you can't do a full on bear suit, right? Because that's going to look ridiculous. It's going to look as bad as you think it would. A man running around in a yellow bear suit, no good. You can't do the red shirt because that's Disney.
That
image is copywritten.
Right, and that was copywritten way later. So that won't be public domain for 40 years.
They did throw him in a red flannel, though. There was a nod.
They were getting close, yeah. Which is, I'm sure, playing with an IP that you don't technically own. It's you're trying to stretch it as close as possible as you can get. But I do have to give it credit. I was actually a little impressed that it was in the UK. They were in the UK because this is where Pooh Bear's from. It's British. It's a British story. I was like, oh, okay. I give these guys props. It's all UK actors. The whole thing is I like that. I like that nod because it could have been as easily as somebody in Jersey filming it in the woods.
The handwritten signs like 100-acre wood, like all
that
it
was so exactly classic little the book art and the cartoon art, and I'm like, ooh. So let's get into some spoilers here, but this is on Peacock now, which is again.
Oh, is it? I watched it on. I didn't watch it there.
Oh, really? It's on Peacock streaming. It's on the front page of Peacock. That's why I said let's do Winnie the Pooh. Okay.
Damn it.
Well, there you go. It's on Peacock streaming, which again, it's another impressive thing that Peacock picked it up. Like they made money off this.
There, yeah. Like I said, respect the hustle, man. You know, and like I'm saying, we might talk up to a high psychic here because this is not a hero. There's no way we're gonna give it that. But like, I like this whole area that they're in, like with the weird trailers kind of stacked in the trees and stuff. This whole weird dungeon that they've built for themselves. It's pretty cool. You got Christopher Robin coming back as an adult, bringing his wife
to meet Pooh Bear and Piglet. Like it's like a sad story. Like we saw, didn't they just do a Pooh Bear movie with the older Christopher Robin? Like, and now we're seeing
that one didn't quite go that was a little different.
Of course not. Yeah. Now we're seeing what Pooh Bear really felt. When Christopher Robin left, he felt shunned and slighted, and I guess the only way they ever got food was from Christopher Robin. So they were starving, waiting for honey. Like,
but they had honey. They showed it.
I know. That's what I don't get. Like, you're starving. Like, those scenes when he has honey all over his face, dripping, and like
they had to find a reason to make them evil, and they just picked it. I mean, it really doesn't matter. But they do immediately kill Christopher Robin's wife.
Well, I thought they killed him too. I didn't realize.
Me too. I was so mad. I was irritated because like after that they cut to like another little animation scene where like they have Christopher Robin tied up and it looks like they shove him in the fire. That's what I thought.
I thought they cooked him. Yeah.
It's not what happened. Turns out they shoved his wife in the fire. They made him watch, which is really bad too. Not trying to lessen that, but immediately I was like, oh damn it! Like they could do something cool. Like Christopher Robin could be like the Van Helsing of this shit. Like if they try to do some crazy shit, like this could be like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You got Christopher Robin teaming up with Wendy because they're making an evil Peter Pan one of these. Like like let's go. We could do like the Avengers of this shit.
Peter Pan?
The same group, yeah, because that's public domain now. Well, Peter Pan's a scary ass story to begin with. Like, that little boy comes and kidnaps your children. He takes them and puts them in harm's way.
No, I completely agree. Yes, and Captain Hook and the TikTok crocodile and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So what I liked here again was that it was straight up Friday the 13th type slasher for a lot of this stuff. There's that hot tub scene, which was hilarious. She's sitting there in a hot tub, taking selfies of herself, and then you see in the background, like very far off, like the little yellow face, and then it's just like it disappears, and then it comes back in, disappears. Like it's so Jason, and I loved it. Like
and he's built like Jason too, right? So it evokes that. He's gigantic. He's wearing the boots and the overalls, so he's kind of got that same look, stomping through the woods. Like I said, the cinematography is really good. They play with lighting and the moon rays and all that cool shit. But this whole group of girls that we're introduced to here that are coming for this weekend getaway in a cabin in the 100-acre wood, because one of the girls has a stalker, and so they're trying to help her get over the trauma of this. And like none of this really matters, and I'm kind of happy that they didn't spend too much time here. And we get a little bit because you got to set up something to try to make you feel something for the final girl, right? So you get a little bit so that who the main character is, but that's really it. And it's only like 3 or 4 minutes. The rest of it is just like kill, kill, kill. I mean, once the movie starts, it really just kind of keeps going.
It does. It's
pretty short too, like an hour 20. Like
it's all fodder. It's all just kill scene after kill scene after kill scene.
Yeah, I thought like some of these girls would be getting away and we'd have more, but like nope, dead.
They all died, right?
Well, that's the big twist. You had the final girl. Well, I mean, let's not get there. Okay. Let's chronologically not get there.
Okay.
First kill we get is the girl from the hot tub. She gets yanked out. Again, wasted opportunity. But that the head getting crushed slowly by the tire, the close-ups. I mean, the CGI eyeball was a little, like some of the graphics they tried didn't. The CGI blood really, I didn't like that.
No,
because we skipped over the very first kill, which was the girl that got shoved in the wood chipper, and that was our topless scene. But that's what kind of the way he just like for no reason was like ripped her shirt off, and then she was just suddenly topless. I was like, oh, this is the movie we're in. Okay, so I had an expectation at that point. The movie then doesn't do that anymore. And
well, like, right, because we get him ripping her shirt off and then throwing her in the wood chopper. Then you get this girl in this very string type bikini in the hot tub by herself. So you're assuming again another one that's going to be just like, oh, I'm just going to take my top off because that's what you think. Nope, doesn't happen. And then the rest of them are completely fully clothed the whole time.
Long sleeves and pants. But
probably cold when they were filming. So
it looked cold. There was a lot of mist. That girl was in a hot tub. She wasn't in a pool in that bikini. So
I do before we get into like further kills, like I did not like the Piglet design period. Like I just like it felt I didn't think Piglet was like a warthog. You know, like he had the bone, the horns.
Pigs, if you put a domestic pig in the wild, it will grow tusks and go.
It will?
Oh yeah. It will go warthog. Oh yeah. A regular ass pig.
Well, you used to have a pig, so I did not know this. So
it will happen.
Okay.
If they survive long enough out there, they'll go fucking full badass, full bebop.
Well, there you go. At least now you've explained that to me. So maybe I don't hate it as much because it does.
No, but it doesn't like.
It doesn't look good.
Their designs didn't mean like. Pooh's a bear. Like, give him some fucking teeth. Give him something. Give him some claws.
But they made him look as close to the cartoon drawing as possible. I mean, they did. Like, if you look at the mask,
I'm not even sure if them. Were any of those books back then that Disney based everything on? Were any of those in color?
I don't believe so. I can't recall.
So them just using him as yellow might be a big no.
You know, maybe they were in that.
I don't know. I didn't do the research.
Or maybe just the cover was in color, so that's why. You know how sometimes those books had. I don't know. It's 1926, so I don't have a first edition of Winnie the Pooh. If I did, it would be worth a lot of money. So, all right, moving on with the kills. After that, who else do we get? We get
the sledgehammer in the pool. I think
the pool. That's right. Yeah, we get because there was there two.
This is one of those scenes though, man, where it's like Piglet walking through the pool after this girl in the pool is like it's probably only like a minute, but it's just it feels like forever. It's like why am I still watching?
And he's wielding a plastic chain because that chain was like
it doesn't even go in the water. It just
wasn't even it's floating. I was like, all right. And then she's not even moving fast. I'm like, yo, you can swim.
And then he gets into the pool, and I'm like, okay, now get out. Like really quickly get out. He's got a sledgehammer, yes, but you're like on one end of the pool and he's on the other. So like get out.
Just get out. Yeah. And
he's coming straight for you. He's walking. Get out.
Nope.
She doesn't. Sledgehammer to the face. Instant death.
There you go. Yeah.
And then the other girl's like, oh no. She just passes out. You're like,
terrible. I did like here when we see Christopher Robin that he's not dead and he's hung up and being tortured.
Yo,
that they throw his wife's burning corpse, like the bones of her, like right there on the couch next to him. So
after he gets whipped on his back with Eeyore's tail.
I forgot to see it's right. It's Eeyore's tail.
Then this is what might take it up because like he opens up all these wounds on Christopher Robin's back after whipping him with Eeyore's tail, and then he dumps his wife's blood and guts into this thing that he washes fucking Christopher Robin with his wife's blood. Crazy. What This movie's nuts. Like, that is crazy. Like, really cool. That's like, I like that shit. I'm like, man, you're really going for it. He whipped him. That was like Passion of the Christ shit with Eeyore's tail.
I mean, Pooh Bear like gave no shits that Christopher Robin came back and apologized. Like, he was like, nope.
You know what I really
Gone
wanted
15
was like
years.
when they did the flashbacks there in a quick second, you saw young Christopher Robin. I was really hoping we get like a creepy puppet version of Pooh, like for a quick shot, just walking around. Like, that could have been cool. Not in the budget, but maybe we'll get something like that in more of the sequel. You know, they'll flesh out some of that backstory stuff. That could be.
I really wonder how they're gonna do Tigger. Man, like, is he gonna bounce? Is he gonna
a little? We're watching part 2. We have.
I know we are. I'm just saying.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if this movie sucked, we would say, I don't know if I need to watch part 2. This is garbage. But we're not saying that. We're like, I wonder how they're gonna do Tigger. Ooh.
It's very, very interesting. So what else we get here, kill wise? Oh, we get this one scene in there. Like, there's
a lady trapped in there.
They free the lady, then they free Christopher Robin, and then Pooh. Like, I actually like this scene. Like, there's this one kill. Like, he goes really slow with the machete in her mouth.
Yeah, so this
all the way through.
So Pooh's chasing these two of the girls, and Piglet's focused on the chick that they found inside their lair and let free. Right. So while Piglet's focusing on goring her with his tusks, the other girl picks up the sledgehammer that Piglet uses and knocks him out. Wow. And then chains him up and starts putting the working on him. But like, I always hate this. Just kill him and run. Like,
I agree.
Whole,
Why you torture?
Like, this is for this. Pow. This is for that. Pow. And this is for this. Pow. And this, and it's like, god damn. Like,
you could have been long gone. one big swing to the head,
and you turn around and like, Pooh's there. Like, yeah, no shit, he's there. You've been here for like 30 minutes. Like, get the fuck out of there. Like, but then it was a really cool kill. Like, him slowly shoving the machete because like, and he pushes it through her and into like a tree.
Yeah,
that's a strong motherfucker right there.
And then leaves her. I really wanted a head tilt, like a la Michael Myers. Like, I was really hoping they would do an homage to, just give a little.
Ooh, if he just like did the thing.
Yeah. Like, looked at her while you were hanging. I was like, oh, I was waiting for it. I'm like, I should have done it.
I just would wish that his like face moved.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Did something.
But that's why they don't talk. They wrote that out so they didn't have to have them talking through the masks. You realize that. Like, that was it. It was like they were eating, and even when he was eating the honey, he was just getting the honey just pouring all over his face and just whatever.
Yeah.
It was just, they couldn't do it. They just couldn't physically do it. So it's like, oh, we're gonna write it so they can't talk. So that's why you won't get any emotion from their face.
So Piglet's down. I don't think he's dead because I'm pretty sure Piglet's in part 2. But the other two girls are running. Christopher Robin's free but not there. And then so we're down to 2 girls, and they come across this group of guys.
Oh,
this scene, like, they surround Pooh with weapons, and they're like, we're gonna kick. You're not gonna be so tough when we start kicking your ass. Ready, boys? Slow motion shot of each of the guys in a circle, their faces. Then another slow motion shot of all of their weapons. Then another slow motion shot of all their faces looking at each other. Then another slow motion shot of all their weapons. Then a slow motion shot of Pooh. Then a slow motion shot of Pooh's hand.
They had to pad the runtime. They had to pad the runtime.
But then again, like, this was all pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, they beat the shit out of Pooh, but then Pooh starts putting the fucking work in. And
it reminded me of that scene. It reminded me of that scene in Halloween when Michael Myers is getting wrecked.
Halloween Kills, I think.
Halloween Kills, yeah. When he's getting wrecked by the town people, and then all of a sudden it just flips. And I'm like, this is exactly it.
And it continues. It continues after this because these girls then take Pooh for a truck ride, and I don't know. They're not in the forest because they're driving for 20 fucking minutes, and it was in that same area that scene took place in Halloween Kills because it was just darkness all around,
all over,
just pitch black with some smoke. like as they're driving. I don't know where they're driving. They were in the middle of the woods. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't understand how they got back to the same place almost.
They did a
They
big
were right
They were driving in a big
circle.
circle.
Yeah.
That's why there was so much smoke, because they were just kicking it up in that one circle.
Terrible. So
and like it took him like 20 minutes to climb up the hood of that car to the roof. He's like, pow, pow. And I was noticing because they kept using the same sound effect, and like even when he was like hitting the windshield, it was the same like metal sound effect. But then like he had hit that, and then it would cut back, and he was still like halfway up. I'm like, God damn!
It was. Hey man, you got a little budget. You got to do what you got to do to make this theatrical.
And they're like, get him off. I'm like, yeah, hit the brakes. So she's like, get him off. I'm like, yeah, hit the brakes. Keeps going, hits the brakes. He flies off. Like, okay. Finally. But then you think like, oh, like here we are, like, you know, she knocked them off. Maybe this is where they get their out. Nope, she gets knocked out. Our main girl here, Maria, she gets knocked out in the car accident, wakes up to her other friend being decapitated.
Yep.
And the head thrown at the car and the awesome windshield wiper stuff. Like, all this is good. But the Christopher Robin crashing the car into Pooh. That girl's dead, right there.
Agreed.
Her head is like it was on the bumper. Like she's destroyed.
Pooh's superhuman strength kept it from.
Pooh didn't even get a scratch. Like
no,
nothing. Like it didn't. And remember, we forgot. One of the guys was like running away, like. Before all this, like when he was fighting all those guys off, one of the guys was like running away, and Pooh like did this magic hand wave, and all these bees came out of the fucking woods.
Oh, that's right. You saw the bees following him. I was like, what? I was like, but you see another scene too, where Pooh's and bees are all around him. I'm like, does he control bees? I'm like, I know the bees follow him because of the honey, but
he always had like problems with the bees. Remember, that was like the whole thing. He was always going to war with the bees.
Go to war. That's right.
You're right. Popping his balloons and shit. Remember?
Jeez, now I remember. Yeah.
Either way,
that's it. That's an interesting take.
Christopher Robin and the final girl are trying to get away. They crawl for some reason because they're hurt. I guess
they're all injured. Correct.
Then a lot more talking and begging and please no, Pooh, no, and then Pooh speaks. He says, "You left," and then slices the main girl's throat. Like, yep. Oh shit! They killed everyone. But then we have this long, crying, hugging scene between the main girl and Christopher Robin, who've only met once briefly earlier this very evening.
This annoyed me. Yes, this is where I was like, "Oh God."
What?
Like,
and the music was swelling. I was like, "What?"
She's like, "Run!" And I'm like, "Your throat was slit. You're dead. There's no way you haven't bled out by now."
It was a 5-minute hug. Like you died a while ago.
And why exactly? And again, just like you said, why?
And then Christopher
Robin just met. They didn't. They I don't think they even said 2 words to each other. She helped unlock him. And that was it.
Christopher Robin gets up, runs away like a little bitch, and movie's over. We roll credits to Pooh stabbing the main girl in the head over and over again. So let you know she's really, really dead.
Oh yeah. It's a very interesting movie.
What I'm wondering is, because the actor that played Christopher Robin is the only guy, if you look on Wikipedia, he's the only guy with the page linked. So he actually has been in stuff. And not for nothing, like for the material, he was doing everything he could. I'm thinking we get like badass Christopher Robin in part 2. Like I'm going back in, but I'm going with my friends, you know, and he's got like the Frog Brother-esque kind of, you know, like we're going in stacked. We're going to war with the creatures of the 100-acre wood.
Maybe.
That could be so cool, man. Owl, the kangaroo,
or he's gonna pull like a Tommy Jarvis thing. Or he'll be in jail because like his wife is missing and murdered.
He didn't do it. They don't have her bones. Go find the bones.
What if they go to the house and they find it?
They're gonna find Pooh. That's what they're gonna find.
But they're gonna go to this house and find all these dead women.
That's not his house. He don't live there. That's
Well,
his.
it's
That's
true.
in the
But
forest.
he was in the forest with his wife, and now all these people are dead in the forest.
And he escaped. Go over there and look. You'll find Pooh yourself.
I'm just saying.
I don't think Christopher Robin's in any legal trouble here. I think he's just fine.
It'd be interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's still a sidekick for me. I mean, I think there were some good things that could have teetered, but it's not there yet. I'm looking forward to the sequel.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to put it that way.
I agree. I mean, I remember when these trailers came out. We're like, what the hell is this? This is way better than Killer Sofa. Like those kind of movies. But
this is an upper
that
tier.
Christmas tree killer, the tree that killed people. Like this
is tier 2. Okay,
yeah.
in our movie descriptions here.
So, all right, well there you go. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Hope you enjoyed it. Check it out on Peacock. Let us know what you thought. This is a little.
And this is Steven. Until tomorrow night, everybody, keep it creepy.